going on and on about the Guardians and you weren't reacting. I'm like, I guess I'm just like not saying anything that he was thinking. Fuck, I thought I was pretty on. Well, with that out of the way, let's move on to our next topic, other sports. These are the sports outside of the top four: basketball, baseball, football, hockey, I guess. NASCAR and golf. Next week, we're going to have Bob on to talk to us about NASCAR. He knows more about NASCAR and NASA than anybody I know, and he's going to give us some insight on that crash that happened a couple of weeks ago where a lot of people thought someone had lost their life in a race. But golf. Kev, do you play golf?
Like once a year.
That's probably slightly above my average.
When I go, I'll be honest with you, like it's all about the drinking.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's one of those games that if you don't practice a little bit or play semi-regularly, you're just not going to get that much better. And then when you're not better, you become that annoying guy in the foursome that's, hitting his shit into the backyards and losing balls, and then you're just holding everybody up. So
And
I just don't really do it that often.
and for those of us who don't know, a scratch golfer is what?
Basically, they can play close to par. I don't play very often, and you don't either, right?
No, I never play golf. I could never, ever justify buying a set of clubs to something I knew I was just not going to commit myself to. I'm like, this is a fucking investment and a half for something that I would rather do so many other things. And I get it because I have gone golfing and it is fun. The idea of golf is such a miracle because the fact that men have continued to convince women that we are owed a day on the golf course. We are owed 4 to 5 hours of just see you later and you can't get a hold of me. It's so
I'm not going to
strange.
answer my phone. I'm golfing. Like
No,
it's some
that's
life and death matter, right? It's like
that's a
you
rule.
couldn't text me back. Our kid busted his jaw. No, I was golfing. And the wives are just supposed to be like, you know what? You're right. I'm sorry. It's ridiculous.
And like if you ever make fun of a golfer, like, yo, why don't you pick up your phone? They're like, oh, I was golfing. It's like, so? Well, the guys would be mad.
That means so you swung a club 70 times in 5 hours. What about all the downtime? Like, you couldn't answer me?
Unless you were using the cart, you'd had to walk far distances, I'm sure, right? You couldn't have just called me back. No, the guys would be mad. Shut up.
Do you ever watch golf?
No, only Tiger. The only time I get excited about golf is Tiger Woods because, look, at the end of the day, it's a competition. I can get excited about any sort of competition. But golf, it's just so unrelatable because, like you said, that and sports like tennis and any sport, but these sports where you're dealing with this little ball and you have to manipulate this little ball, the only way you're good is if you're doing like 36 holes a day every day from like age 5 until like you're 18, 19 and you can go to the pros. Because it's all so random and different and it's almost as if there's no such thing as muscle memory with golf, but there is, and it's like times 8 instead of like normal sports.
That's a good way to put it.
There's like all these other things that you have to like, imprint on your brain over and over to be good. And there's a zillion courses, so it's never the same.
So you only watch when Tiger's involved, and I'm gonna co-sign on that. And I was looking at some stuff in preparation for this show, this topic, and there's actually a phenomenon called the Tiger effect.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Where through the late 90s when they saw this big boost in rankings, and some of this data is astonishing to me, that when he won in 97, it ranked as a 14.1 in the way that media tracks, the viewership.
Yeah.
That was 50% above the Masters viewing average for all the years before that. But don't you think part of it too was how dominant he was?
Yeah,
Like
and winning.
the guy went in and just crushed, 14, 15 majors right away. And you almost thought that Nicklaus's record was just going to fall immediately, the 18 majors. which I still think he's 15 to 18 at this point. Like he's in the hole. I think all of us watching just assumed every major he would show up and win. And that was part of the allures. You wanted to see Tiger do the fist bump on a Sunday, right?
Absolutely. You wanted to cheer because this little tiny white ball rolled into a hole that was tapped in by this guy wearing a red shirt who's kind of black, kind of Chinese, kind of white, kind of something else, something weird. And his name is Tiger. Like, go get him, Tiger. Like the name your mom called you when you looked sharp.
Right.
And then he had like a few like contenders, you know, Phil Mickelson stepped up, and who else kind of like would challenge Tiger, but it was mostly Phil. Him and Phil had just amazing battles back and forth back in the day. That was like in the early 2000s, late 90s when he kind of like exploded. I remember in 2000 he won 4 majors in 1 year. And then the scandal happened in 2010, 9, the cheating on his wife smashing his car with a golf club.
But not just like he has a mistress, like he has a harem. Like he legit has, you know, a lot of shit happening.
He's a gigolo.
How did he have the energy for that? That's what I want to know.
He's Tiger Woods, y'all. I mean, you know, look at him. He's in such good shape, and then he like walks around and plays golf. It's not like he really gets to use that body. No, he does. I'm just joking. I think Tiger now is even more interesting because, like we've talked about before, everybody loves a winner and everyone loves a redemption arc. Everyone loves seeing someone go to the depths of their own personal despair and be triumphant because it gives you hope that, like, oh my gosh, if they can climb out of it, I can too.
No doubt.
And he's Coblicanasian, whatever he calls himself. I love sleeping to golf mainly because this is another funny thing about it. It's the one sport where the announcers have to whisper. So it's like, hi, and now Tiger approaches the tee. Is his penis hanging out his pant leg? It's got to be huge. Maybe.
Got a bit of a left to right spinner on this one.
I learned that he's half Native American, half black, so you know it's got to be long and thick.
But has lands owed to it.
So Bob will join us next week for Other Sports. That's what we'll call this segment, Other Sports. And we'll get into NASCAR, the restrictor plate racing, other key phrases we hear but we can't clear up, nor do we care about. And all right, with that out of the way, let's move on to our fourth topic.